Hello friends, hope you are doing well. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hello, my name is Shreya Malik. Here we talk about all things tech, career growth, productivity, and life as a digital nomad. My name is Shreya Malik and I have 5+ years of experience in the tech industry in multiple capacities. I'm currently based in Seattle, Washington, and today I want to talk to you guys about my monthly routine check-ins. Call it journaling, call it check-ins, but basically it is a monthly habit that has changed my life. If you are coming from Instagram, you may have seen me post a little bit about this before, but today I want to get really in depth about each section within this monthly check-in routine, as well as things like how we can apply this to our professional lives as well and make our work lives exponentially stronger. So you don't want to miss this one. And lastly, before I get started, I would love it if you would consider liking this video and subscribing to my channel. All right, let's get into it. If you're anything like me, you may have heard about just how great journaling is and the many benefits around it. You may have also heard things like, be sure to check in with yourself regularly, be sure to record progress. And all of this advice is pretty generic. It's great, but it's pretty generic. So for me, it's taken me years to boil all of this down into a perfect routine that I actually stick to. It takes about 30 minutes a month, and for me, that's really good in-between length where it's long enough to reflect on some of the key happenings of the month, but at the same time, it's not so long that I dread it, or even worse yet, skip it. I've been doing this routine for about 18 months now, and I've seen incredible benefits in my goal setting ability, my goal success rate, as well as my estimations in regards to these goals. So before diving into this video, I just want to take 2 seconds to talk about annual goals. I'm going to reference annual goals quite a bit throughout the video. So just so we're on the same page, basically at the beginning of any year, I do a more annual kind of check-in, which is a little bit lengthier. And using that check-in, I come up with a list of annual goals. You can call them resolutions. But basically I come up with 1 to 3 annual goals in the following 6 categories: relationships, career, finance, health, extracurriculars, and miscellaneous. If you're interested, I would be happy to make a video detailing how I kind of come up with those in more detail as well. But for now, that's kind of the groundwork that I wanted to lay before I get into the monthly check-ins. All right, let's get into the meat of the monthly check-in. Basically, it has 4 sections, and the first section is objective recap. When I'm doing my objective recap, I basically write out some of the main things that happened that month. I go through my phone's camera roll, and that usually helps me remember some of the more intricate details that aren't always easy to remember right off the top of your head. Things that trigger my memory include pictures of maybe trips I took, moments of joy after a big celebration or a win, or even something just like a screenshot of an email. All of these things help jog my memory and serve as a great precursor to the actual reflection part of this routine. All right, let's talk about the second section of this routine. This will be thoughts and musings for the month. So here you can kind of talk about habits you've been forming, wins for the month. This may include things like your progress towards your annual goals. It may include things like new interests that have kind of come up that you didn't account for at the beginning of the year that you want to continue moving your interest forward in. For example, if you have a goal that includes things like eating healthier, maybe you can record things like your weekly trends towards that goal. Have you been more hungry? Have you been eating healthier? This can also include things like, have you been feeling more restless at work? Have you been experiencing lack of sleep, increased stress, things like that? So don't hold back here. This is your safe space. Feel free to kind of diary it out, journal it out, any thoughts that have been kind of bugging you throughout the last few weeks. This is your space to really type them all out or write them all out, whatever means you choose to do this routine on. All right, now let's talk about the third section. This is called checking in with your annual goals. At this point, I usually just copy paste my annual goals into my monthly reflection, and I go through each one of them individually. I check in with myself. This past month, have I already hit this goal? Have I been working towards this goal? Am I going to start working towards this goal later in the year, or have I completely realized that this is just not a priority for this year? All 4 of these statuses are a-okay. It's just very important to kind of be in sync with where you stand on them, just so that you can plan for the year a little bit better. All right, now let's talk about the 4th section, going into the following month. This is usually where I take the subset of my annual goals that I want to incorporate into the following month. This can also include new things and new goals that I've created over the last few weeks. Nothing wrong with that. And basically, this is my chance to personalize the next month, so it doesn't look like I'm a machine kind of just working towards the same thing all year. Things change, plans change, and there's no issue with that. For me, I take this as a chance to add or subtract to my annual goals. And I don't really like to use the word subtraction per se. I would consider it a redirect. Usually I'll make note of any of these redirects just so I can kind of keep track of what I previously thought was an important goal and have decided to downgrade in importance. I also want to take a moment to show you exactly how we can extend this framework to work or our professional lives. It's definitely not limited to just personal goals, and there's so much value to checking in with yourself in regards to your professional life as well. Each of the 4 sections that we just went over for checking in with ourselves for our personal lives can be applied to work as well. So basically in that first section, the objective recap, I would think about things like wins at work that month, things like meetings that I did really well at, new skills that I've been picking up, have I been helping or mentoring others, that kind of thing. For the second section, thoughts and musings of the month, I would include things like how I've been treating others, how I've been treated. Are there any new ventures or ideas that I've had and started that I wanted to spend more time thinking about? In the third section, I'd pull up those same annual goals, this time more professionally oriented, and check in with myself. Am I still on track for that promotion? Am I still on track for starting that new venture I was hoping to do? And these goals are obviously different for each person. I'm just providing some examples that I see fit. And for the 4th section, I would come up with the subset of annual goals that I would like to work on for the following month. And there's no pressure here. If you feel that it's more appropriate to do a check-in like this every 2 weeks instead of every month, then go ahead and do that. Or if you feel like you'd rather do it once every 3 months, especially maybe for work, if that's just not your priority right now, that's totally fine too. It's just a way that helps keep you accountable for your goals and make sure that you create these goals in the first place. As a closing thought, I just want to say that it is never too late to start. You don't need to wait for a new year or even a brand new month to do a reflection like this. In fact, this is currently the first week of March 2021. I challenge you to do your February 2021 reflection using this template. Just give it a shot, even 3 to 6 months, and make sure you're consistent with it and just watch yourself thrive. I'm so excited. Anyways, I hope this video was helpful for you. If any of this resonated, please leave a comment below. And importantly, the last note that I want to leave us on, feel free to tweak this template. It's not perfect. It's not going to be perfect for you. If you think that the objective recap is something you don't need, then don't do it. If you think of another section that is really valuable for your goals, go for it. The beauty of this routine is that it can be tweaked. It doesn't need to look the exact same every month, and you'll still see amazing results either way. So anyways, thank you so much for sticking it out to the end, and I can't wait to see you next week on Thursday with a new video. Bye.